Morning traders, how are you? Welcome to another session of Market Snapshot. I hope everyone is geared up for the opportunities that are coming in. And ideally, if we are taking advantage of opportunities, we must know that fundamentals will move them, right? In most cases. So your work as a trader is to make sure that you go into economic calendar, in this case, Forex Factory, to look at possible news that could affect your position. So being on a Wednesday, you're interested in what will be happening. Maybe right now during London session, we don't see any activity playing out. But later in the afternoon, we have RBA governor speaking for the Australian dollar. We'll have a look at that. So literally, we really don't have much playing out, right, in terms of red folders, right? So that means uh, what will be moving the markets will be more of technicals, right? The charts will be the ones, but of course we know we are in an uncertain period where Trump can just do his thing and move the markets, right? So this is where, like, we keep insisting that you must really observe risk management. You don't have an option really, because if you're not observing risk management, there's a high chance that you could be wiped out, or you could make some profits which you can't explain and you can't replicate, right? And the conversation here is simple. You're looking for consistency. If you made $100 today, can you replicate that tomorrow? Do you know how you're able to replicate it, right? You must have a strategy. But if your strategy is based on fluke, you didn't, like in such a scenario where you didn't know that there will be some high impact news, then of course that's not a clear strategy. So with that, let's have a look at a conversation around silver. And I felt maybe most of us may not be aware that silver has performed better than gold, but why? Right. So there's this article here that talks about silver and gold. There's that comparison. So while gold has long been the go-to safe haven amid geopolitical and economic upheaval, so basically anytime there's turmoil in the world, there's uncertainty, investors put their money in gold. And this is why now we've seen gold keep rising, right? Because central banks are piling it up. There's the whole conversation around currencies, what's backing the currencies, right? So that conversation is, if you look at what majority of the investors are doing, they've decided, you know what, I'm going to put my money in gold, right? So that explains the safe haven asset that gold is. So silver is now grabbing attention with an even more impressive rally. This year, silver prices on the London market have jumped up 70%, surpassing gold's 55% increase as of mid-October, according to Bloomberg report. Investors have flocked to both metals, seeking refuge from one, inflation, right? So when prices of goods, what is inflation? The steady increase in prices of goods and services. So as a way of cautioning yourself, right, you go to an asset that will give you better returns, and in this case, gold and silver. Political instability, we've just talked about this. When there's instability in the world, then most investors will tend to put their money in gold. And the weakening of currencies. So central banks have printed the currencies so much. They've printed money that most of this money is almost like worthless. Okay, it's still useful, right? But then if you look at it, 1,000 shillings, like in Kenya, that could do a lot 5 years ago, currently it's not able to do that, right? Because of course issues like inflation and then that whole weakening of the currency. So let's look at this article further. However, silver's unique combination of investment appeal and industrial utility. Now, this is now where, like, we will see industries get to use silver, which has led to an increased demand. Yeah, is driving an unprecedented surge in demand. So let's go to the full article. Industrial powerhouse and investment magnet. Unlike gold, silver serves not only as a store of value, right, but also as a critical material in a broad array of applications, from circuit boards to electric vehicles, solar panels, medical devices. Silver's excellent conductivity and antimicrobial properties make it indispensable to many sectors, the report added. Additionally, silver remains popular in jewelry and coins, particularly in populous countries like India and China, right? Where it also carries cultural significance as a family heirloom. Now, I want us to look at in terms of population because these are the guys who are pushing prices of silver up. So if we go to trading economics, we can see data in terms of population. We'll see China 1.4 billion, right? India 1.398 billion. So now imagine the middle class in these countries, you know, having they're the ones buying the silver and all, of course, even the gold, right? If you go to there's some stats that says Indian houses have more gold than most central banks, right? If you were to remove the amount of gold jewelry and everything from Indian houses, it would be more than what even like Kenya, like what we have in our central bank, right? So look at those numbers, right? So that explains the surge. When an increase in demand for something, the prices of that something goes up, right? So because silver is more affordable than gold per ounce, it tends to attract a wider base of retail investors, often experiencing more volatile price movements during metal rallies. So that explains why now most people are going into gold, into silver, right? Of course, there is now a whole concern, industrial concern, in future supply. There's a silver shortage. Isn't just a problem for investors. It threatens industries heavily reliant on silver, such as solar panel manufacturers. Rising prices could cut into profit margins and accelerate efforts to find alternatives. Meanwhile, production challenges in major silver producing countries like Mexico, Peru, and China, including environmental and regulatory obstacles, are limiting new supply, while shifting existing inventories between markets might ease short term pressures. A lasting resolution depends on boosting mining output or discovering new reserves. So with this, now you understand there's if there's a company that is involved in the production of silver, it's a hot cake, right? If you want to look at it, you might want to Google like maybe silver producing companies that are listed and see how are they performing. You can take advantage of maybe that due to this whole shortage issue, right? So if let's say in Kenya, if you were to discover new reserves of silver, my goodness, our country will get into the next level. So that is all we need to know about silver. Why silver has outperformed gold in terms of performance, right? It's because of one, yes, investment, but then it's also an industrial uh, material that is required for solar panels and even medical devices and so on and so forth. So let's now go with that simple understanding. Let's go to our charts. Let's analyze the market and see where the opportunities are at. If you have any questions, please uh, use the chat section and I'll be covering them towards the end. So I'm going to my MT5. Okay, so look at silver. Silver has been hitting all-time highs, and so we expect the same to continue. Silver to come to 53, right? Now, this, remember what you've seen in that article, silver is cheaper than gold. So you can see $53. So of course, as compared to gold, which is 4,195, I think we will have a look at that. 4,000, okay, we're already up, yeah? 42.15. So silver needs to come to this high and possibly break it to form an all-time high. Yeah, because of that demand. As long as there's that demand from industries and individuals or even corporates, then of course prices will keep going up. What about gold? Gold has been hitting all-time highs. I'll probably project the next level to be 42.25, right? If I were to look for projections on gold, I'll be going for 42.25, and then the next one could be 42.50. That's a quarter point. We could hit 42.75 and even 4300. long term. So that is what we have on gold. GBP/USD, yesterday during the mentorship class, we were looking for buy opportunities. We had outlined our support areas. This was the support, and we were looking for a 50 pips move. So that played out, and we can see actually the market went way above, right? So let's analyze the market afresh and see where the opportunities are at. Okay, so ideally what you need to do is go to higher time frames. Always go to higher time frames to have a clear understanding of where the market is. What are you looking at? So going to the daily, I would probably want to see that area tested, that order block over there, and even the moving average. So those are the two areas I would want to see price test. However, in the meantime, maybe we could see some bearish move. Maybe that moving average. Or the Asian law. Those are two areas where we have some buyers on GBP/USD. So with that, then maybe if we were to see a move to the downside, maybe to this moving average or this one, then we could probably see a bullish move after that to that price level. So a possible area where you could encounter some minor resistance will be there. That's an order block right here. This is a bearish order block, which is the last bullish candle before a move down that broke this structure, right? This lower low was broken by this order block here. So that could be a possible area where you could encounter some resistance, minor one, some pullback, and then a final push to that high. Okay, so that's the projection I have on GBP/USD. Then let's go look at Euro/USD. We're also looking at a bullish move on Euro/USD yesterday, so you can see that played out. So let's remove this analysis. Go to higher time frames, H4. Where are we at? We can see this order block here acting as some kind of a resistance, right? That is acting as some kind of a resistance. So maybe we could see a drop, because I would want to see price come here to that moving average, or let's go down to this one, 1670. 1670, or another possible target would be 1679. Those are the two areas where we have some strong resistance. So now going to lower time frames, I would want to see a bearish move. Could see some bearish move to that area, or the Asian low could also act as a possible support area. And then from there, we could see some bullish move to either this area or that one. So that will be my projection on Euro USD. Possible downward move and then a move to the upside. USD JPY, yesterday, those who were in the mentorship class, we were looking for sell opportunities on USD JPY. Clearly, we can see that trade played out pretty well. And by the way, if you've never attended the mentorship class, you might want to attend that because it's for advanced traders. If you're an advanced trader, intermediate, and you're struggling with your strategy, then join us and you'll definitely hone your skills, right? Not just even in terms of technicals, right, and fundamentals, but you also get to discuss things like fear, greed, and all that, right? And we all know, like traders, that is our Achilles heel. Like, if you've not if you don't have a trader's mindset, there's a high chance that you will not survive the emotions that come with trading, the fear, the greed, the impatience, the fear of missing out, right? So we get to discuss that and find solutions. So if you're interested, make sure that you click the link below, learn how to trade, and join that class where it's the morning session. As we speak, there's a class that is ongoing. Yeah. uh, it's always 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. 1 hour of learning strategies and even outlining trading plans and all that. So having seen price respect our plan yesterday, let's look at today. What are we looking at on USD JPY? Remember, we still have a gap here on USD JPY that needs to be closed, right? I know there are so many guys last week who tried trading this gap. They kept selling, they were wiped out. Some even removed their stop losses because they felt, well, the market will still come down. You see now the risk of risk management, right? I keep saying that you can be the best trader in the world, but if you've not perfected your risk management, you'll keep blowing your accounts, funding, making money, but still blowing. So you really need to check your risk management. And I'm sure some of you are joining, if not all of you. You've been in a situation where after blowing an account, that's when clear setups presented themselves. Like it was like a clear buy, clear sell, one that you can't even dispute. But guess what? You don't have the capital to trade, right? And I know how frustrating that can be. So why don't you look at three things in trading, right? Basically, we talk about four. We say that in trading, take small profits, take big profits, take small losses, but never big losses, right? Staging a comeback from big losses is hard. Yeah. So you might want to reduce that by making sure that you're using the right lot size, making sure that you're using uh, the right stop loss, and never remove your stop loss, right? Just accept the fact that you are wrong, right? It has happened. The market has gone against you. Well and good. Come back and reevaluate your trading plan. Am I still, is this trade still valid? If it's still valid, you can re-enter. If it's not, walk away, right? Don't try and revenge trade. So what are we looking at on USD JPY? I'll probably be looking at a move to the upside to this order block over here, right? Or the moving average. Those are two possible areas where we have some sellers. Then let's go to higher time frames. That right there is a possible area with buyers. And then I expect USD JPY to probably take on a bearish move from there. So a move to the upside, and then from there, once the confirmations have lined up, you can look for that 125 pips drop. But then again, price needs to close this gap. I'm not sure about that this week, but yeah, if we see a move here and then this becomes some weak support, then we could see price dipping to close that gap. So intraday, that will be my outlook. A 120 pips move on USD JPY. Okay, so let's look at USD CHF. Once again, we were looking at a sell on USD CHF. That trade has hit our target a few hours ago, 2 hours ago, right? Because this was the possible area we had looked at. Now, it was based on yesterday's low, the low of Monday, right? This was the reason why we had projected this as a support area or a take profit area. And this is why I keep insisting, you must have a reason as to why. If you explain, like you see, I know why I was exiting here. I can explain because I looked towards my left and identified that we had yesterday's low, right? And so I mapped out that as a possible area of support. And you can see when this trade hit that area, at when was this? At what time was this? At 8. You can see a hammer that formed, right? Why? Because there were buyers here, right? There were buyers. Our take profit was an area with some possible buyers, and that way there was that bullish move. But then price came down to this area. So let's remove that analysis. Go to higher time frames, have a look at the markets. On the daily, what are we looking at? I'll probably be looking at these as a possible target on USD CHF. There's also these, which is what you will call the monthly low, the lowest price this month of October. So that those are possible targets on USD CHF. So I'll probably want to see some bullish move, more of a move to the upside and then a downward move. So if I were to map this one, I would probably look at that. The Asian high, the highest price today, would probably be an area where I would want to see some sellers coming in. After that, so we could see a possible bullish move and then a downward move. 58 pips. And then there's also a possibility of us coming all the way to this other low. So that will be my projection on USD CHF. Okay, let's go to Audi USD. Audi USD, we are looking for buy opportunities that played out. So let's remove these analyses. Go to higher time frames. Are we still looking for buys? Yes. We're still long on Audi USD. A possible area with sellers will be here. So this could be our take profit on Audi USD. Another area will be here on the daily. So going down to H4, yeah, we're still looking for buys. So I would want to see Audi USD come down a bit to test maybe the moving averages over here. We'll test this one. Or this moving average on H1 or the order block. Those are possible areas where you have some buyers. Then from there, we could see a bullish move. So it's just at 18 pips move, 20 pips move, and then from there, we should see price get there. We could also see price go all the way to 50 pips. That's also another target. This moving average also could act also as a possible exit for 65 pips. Or is it 64 pips, right? So those are the possible take profit targets on Audi USD. Let's look at USD CAD. So yesterday we were looking for sell opportunities, and I was able to outline why. If we go to H4, what we did is we identified an order block from April, right? So those were in the mentorship class. If you go to, let's say, the daily, we couldn't see anything here on the daily, right? On our left, it would seem that we don't have sellers, right? So what we did is we went to the H4 and went to April, this one. You can see this one, huh? So this is where we identified there were some sellers, and this was an order block, a bearish order block, which is the last bullish candle before a move down, right? So that is the area where we mapped out. Once again, you see, I'm able to explain my strategy. So if you have a strategy and you can't explain it, then there's a high chance you don't know what you're doing, right? So we can see when price came there initially, you can see the close of that candle, some sellers, but then there was a trap move. Those of us who've attended our mentorship class, we already know that this was a sell area. All you needed to go to do was to go to M5, M15, M5, make sure price is at the 70 region, which was a plus, and then look for a candlestick that confirms that you have sellers. And clearly, we had an evening star pattern that played out, that one. So you can see the market tested that order block, and you can see the reaction from the candles being rejected, right? Close below, and eventually there was that. How many pips move? Maybe to the moving average, 40 pips move. It's yet to hit my target, so I'll still want to see USD CAD hit this area. So let's remove this analysis. So I'm still looking at sell opportunities on USD CAD. So we could see a possible bullish move. So those are targets. Like there's another block here that could act as a take profit target for this one, and a moving average. So I would probably want to see a bullish move to this area. And then after that, we could see some sellers pushing the market 52 pips or even 70 pips. UT100, we didn't analyze the UT100, but yeah, let's have a look at it from higher time frames. UT100 is screaming buy. So there could be some resistance here on the moving average. But long term, I'll probably be looking for some bullish moves. Let me see on lower time frames what we have. Yeah, probably I would want price to first retest this low before going up. The Asian low, and then probably we could see some bullish move and maybe a continuation of the same. That's it with regards to the analysis. Any question that you may have? Let's have a look at them. I've already done, just as I've already done analysis on GBP USD, I've already done Euro USD, I've already done gold. So you might want to go back to the analysis, but let me do a recap. Okay, good morning. Hey, morning, Naomi. One day morning, please check your USD already done. Does COT data matter on your analysis? Commitment of traders, I really don't have a look at it. Uh, Basically, the positions of the institutions, right? I don't. I don't. There are guys who've used it, but I consider it to be lagging data because it's, like we'll be getting COT data Tuesday, today, right? Yesterday, we received data for last week. So you see, it's so lagging, right? Yeah. Please explain directional bars on Euro USD. Done. USD JPY. Done. Class free. Yes. For our clients. When did you say you start your classes? We have two classes. We have the beginners class. If you're a beginner, you don't know anything about trading, please attend the 8 to 9 p.m. Like today, I'll be covering strategies. So if you're interested in a simple strategy, the one you can see on the moving averages, right? If you look at my charts, you'll see some moves that are playing out, right? So based on the moving averages, it's that strategy. So we also have the mentorship one, uh, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., right? So please, under this video, there is learn how to trade, right? Click that link, right? Take you to FXPesa link in bio. Go to daily online classes. Sign up for the morning session. If you're going for the morning session, that's a mentorship class. So that's where like you already know something about trading. You're just looking to hone your skills. Maybe you're struggling with mindset. You have fear. You are greedy. All those emotions, right? So make sure that you attend that one. Then we have also for the Swahili clients, the 4 p.m. class. Then the evening session. Sign up for the evening session. Now, this one is the beginners class. So if you don't know anything about trading, that's where you need to be. Yeah. And of course, there's a webinar we'll be having towards the end of the month, where we'll get to cover a lot with regards to trading, right? So you might want to look out for that. It will be all over the FXPesa social media handles, right? So that is our plug for you. What else? Start covered, mentorship covered. The link Central. I've talked about it, right? Below this video. Interested in trading with FXPesa? Open a demo account, start live trading, learn how to trade. Go to that one, learn how to trade, and you will follow that process. Kindly do Euro GBP. Final, that's the last one. Let's have a look at it. Euro GBP. So remember, silver, we've looked at bullish moves. Gold, we've said it's a bullish move. GBP USD, we've said we're looking for a drop and then a possible bullish move. Euro USD, we've said we're looking for a possible retracement and then a bullish move. USD JPY, a bullish move and then a bearish move. USD CHF, a bullish move and then a bearish move. Audi USD, a bearish move and then a bullish move. USD CAD, a bullish move and then a bearish move. So let's look at Euro GBP. Go to higher time frames. So maybe, let's see, this is the high of the year from higher time frames. This is last month's high. Yeah, it would seem like Euro GBP is bullish. Yeah. Screaming buy. So once again, this is a simple strategy. Like I've said, you can, why is it that price came to the moving average and there was that bullish move? Yeah, that is what we do in the beginners class, and I'll be covering that today. Once again, you can see the moving averages I've just discussed acting as support. Yeah. So if I were to look for opportunities on Euro GBP, I'll be looking for buy opportunities. But first, I would probably want to see a pullback. That moving average. So yeah, 40 pips move. That's it, guys, right? So remember, this is purely educational analysis, right? So for more, make sure that you've joined our classes. Look out for the webinar towards the end, and that's where we'll get to cover a lot of these strategies, something that is actionable. Okay. Otherwise, have a peaceful week. See you next week, God willing.